Peep peep, what is up ninjas? My name is Samworld and today I'm going to teach you guys another hack, another sick trick. I have yet to see it on YouTube. They talk about it, but they don't do it. I don't know why. Maybe they're scared that they're going to mess it up. But today I'm going to teach you guys how you can change key in your song. Now last month, one of my Patreon students came to me and he was like, yo Sam, you know, I really like the song and I want to learn how to do what he did. So he showed me the song and this is what happened in that song. So as you guys heard, there was a change in energy and the average listener will probably be like, whoa, at the club because it's like that change in energy, that change in key. Now the average producer is probably gonna be like, how the hell did they do that so smoothly? And that is where this video comes into play, guys. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to do that, well, this is gonna be the video for you. So a lot of you guys are always asking me about how my students became my students, guys. And I do have this Patreon thing where you guys can pledge a certain amount of money and we meet one-on-one. The catch with that is that it is limited positions because I don't wanna book up all my time. I want to have time to make videos, I want to have time to make sound banks and spend time with my family. So I only have 20 positions available for that and they're always sold out to the point where there's a waiting list for it, where people are literally refreshing, and that's what I tell them. Then I have my other students, which are bigger artists that actually reached out to me because they watch my videos and they want to learn certain things. So that's mainly how people become my students, guys, just letting you know because I get that question asked a lot. Alright guys, so let's get straight into this video and teach you guys how to change the key of your song.
Alright guys, so let's get into this. Now we are going to be using the circle of fifths for this video because it makes life a lot easier. Before this, I was literally changing keys like this. I learned my scales on Piano World. It's a website, it has this neat little tool that you can use. So I was like, alright, C major. I would play it on the piano and learn it. Eventually I got to A minor, I was like, hold up. A minor and C major have almost the same damn notes. Okay, I'm going to switch scale, but I'm going to avoid playing these notes here so that it doesn't sound weird. Eventually, I didn't know I was turning that into a pentatonic minor, but that's what I did, you know, and it worked. So pretty much C to minor, and it just worked. So I have a track here that from a long ass time ago that I did that in. So just hear it real fast. So yeah, I used to make weird music like that. I don't know. I was a very emotional guy at that time, but I still like that melody. The mix could use work, but I like that kind of stuff. I don't know why. I know a lot of you guys love that more mainstream poppy stuff, but I don't know. I'm a fan of that. But pretty much, you know, using the circle of fifths, we can avoid doing all this shit because the circle of fifths is showing us the relationship between these keys. So from a C to a G, it's a perfect fifth, G to a D, perfect fifth. So that means that if we move 7 notes up from that C, we hit the G, and they're going to be harmonically almost the same. You could think of it that way. So pretty much we can use this clockwise to switch keys. So I can go from a C major to a G major to a D and vice versa. You cannot go from a C to a D or C to an E. You have to C to a G. The next thing is that below it we have the minors in red. So the circle of fifths tells us that I can switch key from a C major to an A minor as well. From an A minor I could go to the E minor to the B and so forth. So as you guys see there. So we're going to be using this, okay? So here guys, I have this melody from a track we did, track start to finish in the style of Hardway. If you guys want to watch it, we literally made this track. Everything's on video. It sounds great. Mixing's there, everything, and you guys can watch that. I'll leave it on the top right. But the melody we made is this, and we're going to change key with this, okay? And then it just repeats and it has this variation here. Alright, so I'm going to want to switch keys. So the first one we're going to do is from a major to a minor. Or sorry, from a minor to a major. We're in the E flat minor or the D sharp minor. We can call it whichever. I'm not that big of a music theory snob, so I don't mind. And we're going to do a major, which is going to sound really weird because I don't think it works as good as going from a minor to minor or from a major to major. When we're going from major to minor, it sounds weird because you're going from epic dude to a very fruity dude, and you'll see what I mean right now. So we're just going to be doing this. So we're going to transpose our melody, everything up to that F sharp or F sharp major. There. Now, as you transpose, some notes might get out of key, so you got to make, or out of the scale, so you got to make sure to keep them in. So you can see that A, nope, we want that A sharp or the B flat. This D has to go there. This A has to go up here. This D, nope, it's not part of the scale. It's D sharp. So you just make sure you account for that when you're doing these changes. And then same thing with the melody, we have to do that. Now, what should technically happen is, since we're going from a minor to major, we're going from epic dude to very happy dude. And hopefully that's what we hear, because I have yet to do this right now, and this is the first time I'm doing this key change with you guys right now on this track. Okay, so that sounded, it sounds good. Like, the transition sounds good, but once we start hitting these notes in the melody, it sounds really fruity. So maybe what we can do is just duplicate the melody and keep it the same. Essentially, we're still using almost the same notes, so it should work, right? We'll see right now. Okay, so as you guys saw, it kind of worked. It's not as harmonic pleasing as this one, but it works. So you can avoid that happy melody by doing something like that, guys, or just changing the melody all right together there. Now, let's go to the bad boy to bad boy. We're going to go to minor to minor. So if we use a circle of fifths, I know that if I'm in E flat, I can go to the B flat, which in essence in Ableton will show up as the A sharp. So I just duplicate that and I go to the A sharp there down. And I shouldn't have any problems when it comes to the formatting of this. Nope. Okay, cool. It should all be set to go, and let's see how that sounds like. So as you guys saw, it sounds good. If we put it up in octave, we'll go here to the change. All right, so as you guys saw, it also sounds good, and it makes sense. It's an abrupt change, and this is the brute force ways of doing it. But now, let's say you're working on a track, and you want to do that key change. So how do you do it smoothly? Well, here's another trick that I can teach you guys that I learned on my own. I don't know if it's part of a music theory kind of thing, but we use a thing called lead voicing. I know that's music theory wise. So I want to do the switch where both chords are going to be the same. So I know that I have to come back to that D sharp, but it's going to turn into that A sharp. So how do I do that smoothly? Well, I can easily move this chord up to the harmonic F sharp here, because I'm counting note, 1, 2 in the scale, and that's going to be harmonic to that D sharp. Especially if we look at the D sharp minor chord, it has that F sharp in it. So technically, the transition should sound good. So we're going to go to that. So we know it's going to happen. So we're going to first, duplicate this across, and we're going to do that change to it. So now this guy is going to go up to that F sharp, and now we're going to switch the whole scale here down to that F sharp, which is in major. So we're going from minor, relative minor to the major. And hopefully that's making all sense to you guys. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can. And now let's see how this transition sounds like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up in octave, because it goes too low. So that works. Now let's try moving this one down, and it works this way like that. And it works. So that's a way that you can bridge the gap so that it sounds good. And we can do this with any scale. You just have to learn how to do it. All right, guys. So now let's try making a melody with this new chord progression. I'm going to keep it simple and just have a sustained melody, so it makes your life a little bit easier. And then we're just going to go. And then maybe I think that will sound good. I'm going to move this one down so we can go into this one. And then here I can start doing like maybe here. Dun. So again, I'm repeating this part here. I'm just switching this. And then I could go back to that D sharp. And I'm gonna end the melody here. And it works. So those are gonna be the key changes that we can do, guys, on account of that. Now, guys, before we end this video, I do want to show you a bonus trick, a bonus little tip for you guys to do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get rid of the melody and we're just gonna use chords for this. Now, there's this trick that Deadmau5 used a lot in his old songs, and it's very simple. We go from a minor to a major key. That's it. We just do a chord change. And I shouldn't have said key there, but we just do a chord change, and that's what's going to help us create this vibe that you hear in Brooks's Finks and also Jay Hardway's Sio. And I'm sure there's a lot of other tracks out there, and that you guys have heard these chord progressions and go like, man, those are some good ones. How do I do that? So I'm going to teach you how to do that very easily, guys. So whenever you want that vibe, all you have to do is go from a minor to a major, okay? And it's as simple as that. So here we're going to start, and all we have to do to turn this into a major is move this guy up. So as you can see there, it gives us that vibe. So I'm just going to move this up here to a C sharp so we have more of a chord progression. Move this. So as you can see, that works there. That gives us that nice chord progression. So it's a very cool strategy to do as you're switching between them, because you're just creating that kind of change. It creates a very spacey vibe, and then when you have like a nice pad, it works wonders. So we can also implement that in certain positions, and you just have to figure out where you want to apply it and then hope for the best at All right, so now let's say I want to implement it to this. What can I do? Well, here I have this D sharp. So it's up to you how to implement it, guys, but that little change there does a lot for you want those kind of vibes in your chords. But with that being said, guys, that's a little trick. I'm going to make a full depth video on that in a few weeks maybe, or maybe tomorrow. Who knows how I feel. Today I feel like making this video when I was at the gym. So I thought, you know, cool, maybe I'll make this video for you guys a little bit more in depth, but that's a cool trick you can start using to get those kind of chord patterns. All right, guys, and that is going to be the end of the video, and hopefully you found it useful. I taught you guys how to change key using a bit of music theory. Now the point here is that you really do have to be strategic about how you go. So if you hear the W&W and Headhunter song, they don't switch key until they reach that climatic point, because there's sort of like this break that happens there, and it kind of phases or transitions into it very properly. I also showed you guys that little bonus tip about how to change from a major to minor chord to get that Deadmau5 feel, to get the Jay Hardway feel, to get the Brooks feel from his new track called Links or Finks. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. If you guys want to stay up to date with all my stuff, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, leave me down a comment on future tutorial suggestions. And at the end of July, if you're making house music, tech house, Dirty Bird style music, there's gonna be a huge sound bank for Silent One coming out. And if you want to support this channel, that's another way that you could do it as well, by purchasing that little bad boy. All the funds that come from all the sound banks, guys, help support me and my family so that I can keep doing this as a living and bring you guys videos every day to improve and give you guys ideas for your music. All right, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time.